Mami mo bibi akwaba emfa ombra Mega TV afidikesi eso Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa eye Northton Emrashibidweni na on the ticket of NDC orewe se mo bekaya me de bia meka se oye members of parliament no omo anase oye investigative journalist our parliament at the same time sound a parliamentarian because orewe ni dwumadi a odi na how especially your president Akufo-Addo and Dr. Mahmood Bawumia omo aban wa expose omo yes when we talk about Galamsey and when we talk about National Cathedral and then the last part of it and I say the fresh one aba a SSNIT hotel omo pese omo ton edima Brian Champon ai nenim se orewe edi MPP aban mutintima even he is a cabinet minister for food and agriculture. Unim na otwe ya na say because last week onum na eti say krata bia babontin na say a Rock City Hotel awura oda no Brian Champon the hotel omudi press relief biaba na say press statement biaba na de na omo kan yina ne say hotels na was senator omo decide say na omo koto no nam so ma Northton Emrashibidweni Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa odi omo call court anasa omo kwa no de ne call court na ade okay ono de omo call court mo fa ncheme o seek for some research clarifications any de keka ho wi akiri court etimi she omo ketin se de bi we de emboa empo omo kan go to the extent say omo se omo beye the investigation omo ye the research omo ye omo atrase adwen ho se de bi de ekoi ehonum etro omo the press statement eba abontin eka kire Ghana fo nyina se sa SSNIT social security national trust and insurance trust no omo nto hotel bia bio na hotels na it include Labadi Beach Hotel, La Palm, any other 3 hotels. Now it's about 6 or so. Sisi ameno ka say omo retrieve anase omo atwe omo hasensan say omo ento hotel ni bio because Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa investigation no wa vindicate omo amomo ho sesise no dream any corruption and omo pese omo di edi Ghana for abusia owura nankasa ene anopai Onua TV watena se achekire nsemu we wanka brofo aya na sometimes the brofo to wa hu se enkofo ntimi react na ade wanka brofo owura no sheda ntitwi se o vegetarian but wa force akatwi achekire niemamu to the core amaye hu se hey enti sanka Brian Champon this is the benefit owura we enka oton hotel na enko benya free empo he was claiming say ana na omoton no mu claim say ono na oye the good manager of hotels ono na what the experience na yi na ibisa say enti ono na what the experience why don't him voluntarily come out and help Ghanaians and as help manage the hotels na ajise otomum enya the 60% share of it I belong to ono answer with me at the someone abo my Ghana abusia yemiani nukwadie Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa Ghana for your wabaso body bia yemfa ma no because owura he has been a consistent and as outstanding parliamentarian na debia wugina onom se obe expose corruption ai wo Akufo-Addo aban mu obema Ghana for ehu de ekoso obema sebi enema enkoyie na the most shocking thing okan ya me de pa ni se osi NDC aban in their next government NDC aban baso na so omo the same he is going to resign from NDC enti okan no na me fa pen me fa paper me tweto so we nsema kan enye dan we know say MPP co position NDC na eba se eba sa na se wa ma abontia mekasa ɛhɔ na wobɛhu sɛ yes yɛn nso we keep records. Nti yɛnkɔ na yɛnkɔtie Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa Northton mmarahyɛbadwani nsɛm a ɔde ato dwa. Nyankopɔn nhyira wo. Ahanom ɛyɛ Mega TV. Yɛbɛsrɛ sɛ ɔbɛsubscribe na walike dwumadi na ade comment atom fɛfɛɛfɛ na biribi atumi akɔ so. Yɛnkɔtie nsɛm no quick one. Ɛmfa mmra ɛwa muntie wode to bo ase wa review secret. Yɛnkɔtie mfa mmra.
Frustrating because court cases no be to say Kusibuati in court cases they say on one case on back court. Now so baby I mean I make court. Now SSNIT me court parliament, SSNIT me come constituency, me share spillage victims, me back parliament, bisa persons. Now it's getting in the way. Now so on no they make court cooling off somewhere on back and he keeps losing or losing now a fairly appeal or losing now a fairly appeal. The whole thing is let's frustrate him. Let's keep him busy. And na ya intimidating na hopefully no na as a bonina air cosmo now a jaikan. That is the whole strategy. Osha for the blaze so threats upon threats upon threats. Meanwhile, he's sending in a media to do no press. And no press more for time. Labadi Beach Hotel for Omo Beach Front. More for Musi and media. And no press. And no press. No put a bid to purchase this hotel. Minka send there machan draw edia to obeso. I won't do that because meaning say okay, the Ghanaian constitution who culture and draw if you as a member of parliament you misconduct yourself. If there's an adverse finding against you by a court and any committee of competent jurisdiction, you can lose your position. And Minka say men losing a position based on say are going to engage in bad conduct. Answer na make bibiano. I do my due diligence, do my research. But about the year it's become a strategy. Say, oh, you have from the court. And you see, Omunim say, Omudi court so now it's a for some more you're careful. Hey, as some more careful, careful, content better. That's clearly the strategy. But I am hoping, say, one of these days, judges now can say, we'll see through this. Not more dismissing all these cases because they keep losing, they keep awarding costs against them. And also, they keep filing appeals. When would that stop? But meaning said, Mr. Dominic said, oh, when you try to fight corruption, corruption will fight you back. Until we have to prepare for worse. And a big crowd advising me say I have to watch my security and all of that. Sometimes I get clear threats. We do me phones, you see the threats. Naked threats. For example, I'll say Parks and Gardens land or say what talk Libya. Why am I talking about it? Why issue threats? There or also say what talk Parks and Gardens land or cantonments. I see a friend Reverend Ezekiel, owner of Danny Ike real estate developers. I'm also at your cracker at the Abraham. I'll give you a copy. So warning me not to mention his name. I'll keep mentioning his name and I'll keep talking about it. So and also my Ezekiel. Danny Ike into Parks and Gardens assassin or welcome to I see a lady water. Meanwhile, may someone local government minister or parliament. Local government minister that the car said per his records now the Parks and Gardens lands is still for government. So because only inside the panel or claiming. And you see there are people in this government, lands commission for our Moya Kanana, who himself for the first time in our history. Mami listed state capture, Mami listed Bimao, who himself for the first time in our country's history. Judges Ako Court. Judges Ako Court say on bungalows, 13 bungalows. Private developer B just showed up say on no water Nidia. We book bungalows in 13 they were called documents in 13 bungalows. 13 bungalows. These are the court documents. 27 February 2024. And judges no. Judges of the Superior Court. And what is court? Yes. What is shocking is say judges no almost secure injunction. Who say private developer way or the real assassin. And almost call court and rush to secure an injunction 28 November 2023. Will you believe say private developer no or defy injunction will say go to hell with your injunction. And I will do 3 more. Number 7, Fifth Circular Road, Cantonments. Number 18, Fifth Circular Road, Cantonments. Number 36, Fifth Circular Road, Cantonments. Yeah, Cassisi say 13 bungalows. I can list judges now more bungalows. Justice L.G. Kobia, Justice Anthony Abada, Justice K. Okoyata.
And see, number 7,
yeah.
Fifth Circular Road, Cantonments, last occupied by Justice F.G. Kobe. Number 18, Fifth Circular Road, Cantonments, last occupied by Justice Anthony Abada. Number 21, Fifth Circular Road, Cantonments, last occupied by Justice K.A. Ofori-Atta. Number 36, Fifth Circular Road, Cantonments, last occupied by Ruben Batu's family. Honestly, a judge.
Yeah.
And number 3A, Fifth Circular Road, Cantonment, last occupied by Justice Yao Apel. Oh, yeah, Yao Apel, yeah. Number 3E, Fifth Circular Road, Cantonment, last occupied by Justice Seven Noke. I think I got this right. Number 3F, Fifth Circular Road, Cantonment, last occupied by Justice Julius Ansa. And number 24, for Onyasia. I think I'm right. In Roman Ridge, last occupied by Justice Akamba. Number 31, 4th Circular Road, Cantonment, last occupied by Justice P.K. Honorable, I think I'm right. Jai Sayo.
Yeah.
Jai Sayo. And GET 5 or number 28, quoting CRGL dash number Laboni and no Laboni, last occupied by Dr. Naomi Apia, Judicial Service Clinic. And number 4, Ridge Runabout. Runabout here where you Ridge last occupied by Justice C.H. Onyenuga.
Yeah.
Justice
Onyenuga. Opuni judge.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tony Bungalow.
Number 51, 7th Avenue Extension, East Ridge, last occupied by Justice Vida Akoto Bound.
Yeah.
Wow. Number D 20, CSQ Laboni, last occupied by Justice Lorinda Owusu.
Then
where would you know Supreme Court judges?
It is a say. I have to be a Omuka agent, it will reach everybody.
Yeah.
That's what has happened. Judges, they even had an injunction. Into Nipa now, yeah, that demolition. What parts as you know? Would you say we need top politicians be a back? Clearly. Or
to the extent of Supreme Court judge.
Yes. The 28th November. Omo Rashid and colleagues.
Come up from
with an injunction, almost a year and
they went ahead.
It is a sin. Case no, the case is live. Kosovo court. It is being handled by the judges to preserve of the bungalow, at least what is left of the land, because bungalows need the pictures. No more touchy pictures. No pictures. No, it's all part of the sworn affidavit.
All
the demolition, not demolition. So almost 38. See, new buildings, fast.
Or the Bayer estate, no, $20.
Yeah. And
that's it.
Direction. Also, opposite American Embassy.
Yeah.
Just right opposite American Embassy. It's a prime land. There'll be American Embassy war, French Embassy war.
And see, another one here.
It is state capture.
New buildings. So you already say no, you Google judges and you're not to and you people from. Hey. Young Cosway.
And you know, when you say Ghana Prison Service, almost work for court. Sir, Omasa say a Roman Ridge, maybe a Boston Institute.
Yeah.
Collaborationist prison. Obi say a Yanedia, Sani Pano, friend of Professor Piedu. our senior advisor to Vice President Baumia. Until they are in court. Wakwa could do a more fence. Or say Nidia. Prison service. Embassies were not spared. And Che Diana Mete said, I revealed that Bulgaria.
Yeah.
Another appointee of President Akufo-Addo. Bulgarian embassy, last week in Ghana, Ambassador Obehumi, as ranking member of the Foreign Affairs Committee, said, or trying a compensation. Now, they are Ghana, they are losing their patience. Ambassador, this can even lead to war because it's a violation of the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations. You could attack an embassy because embassy, it is for that country. Yeah. You are just host, but it is for that country under international law. It is an attack. It can lead to war. Nigerian High Commission, so and we almost went to war with Nigeria. As I said, President Akufo-Addo had to call his counterparts. And what's going on? Parks and Gardens, we call Accra. Wow. The latest, the two judges last week, we said WEB Du Bois Center, Omudiama private people for 50 years. 50 good years. Meanwhile, WEB Du Bois Center, we share Yabako Sen with me. Obia, or you're the first black graduate from Harvard University. Or denouncing the US citizenship. Or you're leader of the civil rights movement, actually the founder of NAACP. Iconic civil liberties fighter. Or Jani my Ghana, so Obebua Nkrumah is spicy into Obebua Ama, you defeated the colonialists to reconstruct an independent Ghana. Or taking Ghana citizenship. This is an icon. Scholars from all over the world come to celebrate him. We are losing control over that for 50 years. Meanwhile, Ushe documents are being intercepted. This is Chief Director of the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture, writing to this private developer saying, under the agreement, Sikana is also Omudibano, Omufambai. Nanso President Akufo-Addo Krata signed by his secretary said, or Mukoye handing over on the 27th of August. Later, he signed by Nana debut to Asante. So 27th August, Airbano. Or Muko handing over WEB Du Bois Center to this SPV. Meanwhile, Chief Director may say, quote, request for proof of funds. It will be appreciated if you could address the evidence of adequate funds to pay the salaries of the staff of MFGH for the construction period, as well as to undertake the refurbishment of the new entity as per the agreement. See clauses 417 and 7213. You are therefore kindly requested to show availability of funds in an account open in Ghana with an amount of $30 million as provided by the agreement. You are also expected to submit to the ministry a performance bond issued by an internationally recognized bank in the amount of 15% of the total project cost, without which we are unable to hand over the site to you. Signed, John Yao Agbeko, Chief Director for the Minister. In the ministry, no air confirmation. No fancy can be and buy. Until you to me hand over the site to you. Now, so President actual and it's the same modus operandi David Ajayi Ekaho. Same David Ajayi, National Cathedral, Bank of Ghana headquarters, Marine Drive project, Trade Fair project. Same modus operandi. David Ajayi is part of it, architect, and then now Omwafa, assassin, and they do whatever they want with it. It's state assets. Recklessly, no. It is a major issue. Indiana may sponsor a private members bill. Until I put together a team of lawyers led by Professor Kweku Aza. Okay. Okay. And NCBI will publish we are just putting final touches to the draft. We can say politicians, we NDC politicians, NPP politicians, we want a clear law. This law, a bed banner want to make enter state asset. A cow, a sasio, a bungalow, a hotel, umetumia, ubeto. And I believe that once we pass that law and keep the politicians out, we don't say, answer now, but say, yeah, tongue begin. It may be about 40 years, 50 years. Because clearly, it's the politicians who are buying it and are getting people to fund for them. Yeah, council said politically exposed persons. Ebia will back, down. Yes, and there will be until we are looking at.
limited to politicians.
Exactly. It is all politically exposed persons. Okay. Now, if we are buying this 5 years, you are banned to mean for any state asset. After 5 years, and you can be considered. Then we are also saying, the state asset meaning I work on my way. Then creating that
5 years in Asia.
We were
Okay, no
problem. You better stakeholder consultation at beside Ghana for
after 10 years now our capacity now.
Good. It's not a bad idea. A big problem suggests even for forever. I don't mind. That law, no. You better create a database. When you say man where you want to see, you beside your minister say Ghana, bungalows, do send you want because you need data. You share that data, no data, but on person they find the data. When they are ready to sell, bungalows all over the place. They know where they are. They can identify them when it's time to sell them. And we are going to demand, sir. As I said, Ghana, your state assets database. Assassin where are they? Until who are Bumbugu, who are Veima, who are Mapeo, who are Japan, who are Kumasi, you know the state assets, then you know and then what that will help to achieve, Mr. All of these secret sales are also. You don't even know say state asset. What you ask you just hear so Obiato or say a private developer. Media. Now we'll see. I mean, apartments. It has to stop until we have that database. When you say you be a lands minister, it's been more than 2 years. Say you pay omuna omoto abayasa say you pay less. When you say up to now. The last time you remind you, say, oh, you're careful on the told you the political class will come under attack. And so,
that means someone mattering politicians.
Good question. Good question. Look, public office, no, over all the assets that have been put under your watch. You say, sure, so my Ghana for Ankasa, the Toma, sure, so my. We rather want to hear say, oh, Yamao 6 hotels. Time I will be MD, CEO, minister. Also, who the area Minua Kaho. We see Niensa
at least they are in our army.
That's the discussion we have. And yes, oh, my mismanaging. This Utomami. And son, I'm made to make ashes. What kind of logic is that? And the other question is, they say, this current generation of politicians now, I don't think that you're enjoying that, you're enjoying, you're not Omoba. Who shall come in Kuma Bresso? Or you did your friend in land banks into Otto Assassin, the two. When you say Ghana population very increasing. Into also ministries, no, or to assassinate close to the ministries. Sure. You did see bungalows, or see bungalows maybe, but or creating rooms for more expansion. When was the last time? What is a current generation of politicians? You are to assassinate their two for the next generation. You better you know. You are to only their Maya. I mean, what kind of leaders are this? We are disappointing the country. We are destroying the future. And the say in Kola will be mean as it's all more expanding Kolebu, expanding rich, expanding ministry. As I say, Omuko Medical School, on the year doctors are, Omo Hospital, Ewo, ABR Rich, Nanso, Omo, Baby Omoteno, Edia Kaswa, or Mubangalo, no Edia Wamasama, and our Edia Gomwa, into emergency. Now, patient no, because after all the free Gomwaba. I mean, what is going on? Into this way, state capture, you can once and a major internet, they say, Ghana phone, sorry, I can say, look, enough is enough. It's a young SSNIT.
When you feel okay, Yawabu boss is state capture and Sassini Bangalows, and also letters are airbay. Who are giving some of them mobilizing to come together and fight the same cause. You're fighting towards Senate now.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. This is a very important question because, as I said, yes, sorry, I just the Boy Center no call. Into the Boy Center say, on 27th August, they now President Akufo the person for your hand over. Call. Yes, sorry, I say your demonstration. To me, your hand over. Now you protect this assassin. Ghana OC filling station were one. Muti in the Upper West region. Almost sorry, your pastor that is man. What you minister no parliament in response to my question, I say, Omunto assassin, a lands commission for and Omoyo Momu Canada. No sorry and protective was asking. It's say aviation lands now airport, all of these prisons land, airport lands are airport. We all have to rise up. And the original landowners also. This is almost sorry. Because under the Constitution, under Article 25 of the Constitution, and you're very clear, say, abide water assassin for a public purpose. Now say you no longer have use for that land. It reverts to the original owners. That is what the Constitution says. The Constitution is very clear. It's here, meantime. Any property compulsorily taken possession of or acquired in the public interest or for a public purpose shall be used only in the public interest or for the public purpose for which it was acquired. 6. Where the property is not used in the public interest or for the purpose for which it was acquired, the owner of the property immediately before the compulsory acquisition shall be given the first option of acquiring the property and shall on such reacquisition refund the whole or part of the compensation paid to him as provided for by law or such other amount as is commensurate with the value of the property at the time of the reacquisition. Into the Constitution. Into the also, if that done before her say the year past that is not private developer but say media. It should have reverted to the owners, to the Gadande people. Some will be on somebody. The Constitution is being violated with impunity. It is a saying, you're sorry. Now you're respecting the Constitution. Now you're protecting the ACA because the ACA is your airtime. Look, say no, they made this government. I cannot even vouch for what really is in the name of Ghana. When they say Teshi shooting range, and also Teshi Echo. Shooting range Echo. Latest information among police. Prison barracks, and also called almost PPP arrangement, private developer, Befa. I really don't know if apart from Jubilee has an equal in sure. Yeah, that's what is happening. It is state capture, weapon house. And yeah, Joe, the beer Ubekaya and Che Diana. Obi real. Then I hey, that's what is happening. You just say any idea. Now so I question wheels.
So what impression are we creating? It's like say you're buying dear unless we give it to individuals. I don't get it. Anyway, let's go into it. Yeah, the genesis of this whole Senate hotels and I'm
into intercepted documents from SSNIT. Say a more selected a preferred buyer. Say your hotels a more ton 4 of the hotels. Your Labadi Beach, La Palm Royal, Rose Royal, and Nina Beach. A more ton the Honorable Minister for Food and Agriculture, Brian Champa. I don't know. hotels are a year in Arabia. I don't think you're talking about the company Rock City, and who share incorporation documents are not secure. On one or the beneficial owner or your director. There were 2 directors, which is one of the directors. On one or your beneficial owner, on one or you're the sole shareholder. And this attempt by some people to say, oh, I am a hotel that maybe I only interest be one dead. On relinquishing the interest. On one media into Rock City, or Munya Sika, or Munya Profit, I call the champ on the account. Internet so far this transaction, like to say, Ubia Akasa on behalf of Rock City. On one or Kasama Rock City, on one. That should tell you, say a media. And that is the first point. Now, we will say later now, and immediately we can say, Nipa we were buying more, or your minister. Now transaction no air cost or more finalize it. They are just about to sign. Until under the constitution, if you have suspicion of conflict of interest, sure. The forum, the dear SSN will call a shraj. Shraj now, constitutional amount mutumi. Until the 17th May, Anna may file a petition to shraj, a conflict of interest petition, grounded on Article 284. Okay, Article 284 of the Constitution of Ghana, Yacho said, a public officer shall not put himself in a position where his personal interests conflict or is likely to conflict with the performance of the functions of his office. To be a public officer, and says so we engage in conduct. Now, we share Shraj rulings. We were Shraj rulings, no? Okay. Our more really. Shraj for a very classic case on conflict of interest, the Anane case, and we were that decision, September 15, 2006. Miss Anna Bosman at the time, the acting commissioner, chairperson. Now, the way of defining conflict of interest in that ruling by Shraj, look at page 21. Look at the commission has held that a public official breaches this provision not only where there is actual conflict of interest, but also where there is a likelihood of conflict of interest. Okay. Where there is already in existence a personal relation between a public officer and another person, or between their respective institutions or companies, there is an onerous responsibility on the public officer to ensure that all future transactions between the two persons or institutions are conducted with utmost transparency and in such manner as to avoid suspicion of any improper motive or conduct. That is the Shraj ruling. Into conflict of interest, it's not only actual, but you perceive apparent. So even the likelihood, the suspicion, because we are minister, or more taking decision, or more hotels, can they really look at the minister, cabinet minister, and say, young Toma, young Kevao? It is the likelihood. And in addition to this constitutional provision, Article 284, over Article 78 and Article 98, there were other conflict of interest guidelines. Which are Article 78? I say, ministers of state shall be appointed. Article 78, 3. I say, a minister of state shall not hold any other office of profit or emolument, whether private or public, and whether directly or indirectly, unless otherwise permitted by the Speaker, acting on the recommendation of the Committee of Parliament, on the ground that A, that holding that office will not prejudice the work of the minister, and B, that no conflict of interest arises or will arise as a result of the minister holding that office. Okay, Article 98, it applies to members of Parliament. It's we a minister, we a MP, who to me hold the office of profit. Just say, you meet the committee of holding office of profit. No more investigation. Say, transaction, there's no conflict of interest. Now, Speaker, I'm now certificate. And so, processing we are on our champ on 1 year. But checking records, we were all the 47 ministers and MPs or more certificate from the Speaker, they didn't encounter. If you were breaching Article 7, they were breaching Article 98. SSNIT for omuye omujima and can say omu say this person has not met the requirement. Only certificate. Into omu entertainment or crowd. Into all of this matters are and what charge. Now we call charge, you know. And we intercepting more documents. Document that we intercepted our SSNIT one kasa omu memo, internal memo.
Yeah.
On the valuation of these hotels. Sana Rock City bid offer now was far below into a value for money. Anka Yenina answer and tear this transaction. Anka it's a giveaway. Memo no say and SSNIT one case memo.
Okay.
4 hotels no total valuation $121 million. Now so Rock City offer just $61 million.
Out of the 121.
Out of the $121 million.
Hey.
Yes. Labadi Beach Hotel. SSNIT one kasa valuation almost say Monton Hotel no 60% shares. Monton no for $45.1 million. Rock City offer 29.4. Yeah. Just half. La Palm Royal, Rock City for Ankasa, valuation. Independent valuers, year valuation, almost a non-ton of $47.1 million. SSNIT was a Rock City offer, or more general, or more entertaining, $21 million. Not 47, half, less than half. Ridge Royal, $15.3 million. Rock City say, or $8.4 million, not 15. Yeah. That's what we're talking about.
That's a bid in ocean amount now is less than half
of the actual value. Yeah, less than half of the value.
Okay.
Elmina Beach, you see, Montono, 60% shares.
Okay.
$13.7 million. Rock City, see, the more of $2.4 million. Can you believe that? Not 13.7. Into Ocean. Rock City bid now, there's no value for money. No value for money. It is a case idea way a conflict of interest, a Canada, more from a colleague in government, and you are creating a special dispensation for him. This is the evidence. Meanwhile, as same way by the course, right, a publisher, SSNIT for ever bonting the car, Rock City bid was the highest. We get good money. Or maybe a strategic investor. Now say Rock City, Edisika, and they made the highest bid. And Che Diana Freddie Blay, Okoye interview, when he was attacking me, and what they told you say, Neba, at the day for $150 to $200 million. Inchi, Ebanisena SSNIT for Chan Toka say, the champion bid no air the highest, 61 million. Can you compare to $150 to $200 million? And
now say
clearly, no.
Said the brain, the bid no crowd was so. How did that man raise that kind of money?
Good question. That is another major question for your 33 years. And there are a lot of wonders.
What's it basically $150
to $200 million.
$200 million.
Yeah. Ne papa na beka. Ne papa. And I know question of the day, the company is Spartan Ice or more for beach funds. Now, after me intercept the document, me sign so intercept the transaction advisors report. And look right here. Is the most explosive. Hey, we were transaction advisor, and you're seeker taxpayers' money. And you're the engaging. You're $491,000. That is about 7.1 million Ghana cedis.
For what?
Sir, on the advice SSNIT for on this transaction. And the answer na you're better hotels no crime, you're 7.1 million. You're the amount some capital echo. 491,000.
Now that's concept me every hotel no crime.
Yeah, they say Munisika more desperate. Now so it is no problem. Sika kese we are must spend it to engage the transaction advisor. Transaction advisor issue report 24th May 2024. Tomorrow. Say Rock City deal no more ignore transaction advisor.
And then they come up and pass over now.
Good financial loss. When you say transaction advisor, no moon me advice. Ebani saying that more engaging. At least save us the money.
What money?
This is the transaction advisor addressed to the board.
The board of trustees. From the transaction advisor.
Yeah, same capital.
24th May 2024.
Yeah. And my main kind, a summary of my findings on the Rock City day. Page 2. And this is signed by some capital for me CEO, Dr. Samuel, the signature.
Whether you are authentic.
Dr. Samuel. Yeah.
Authentic.
It's a name in my creativity. Into the American, you ignore what I said. Transaction advisor, Yatianeka, over 7 million. Sir, on the advices net.
Advisor, 7 million.
Hey, or your doctor. Your doctor. Into advice.
Okay.
Number 1. See, the Rock City proposal is a cash payment of $30.8 million. And then the rest is spread over a 24-month tenure. It's on installment basis. There is no interest rate. Interest rate, none, 0. Yeah. Inti adia mwankasa musi ubia obedi deno. As I said, mu wasi kami boom. One
and I come back in.
Because you say more I don't know from the more installment. Inti transaction advisor may say the proposal offers an installment plan with no confirmation of availability of funds. Payment is based on the cash flows of Rock City Hotel with no credit enhancement from any bank. There is no indication of ability to pay.
Okay.
The arrangements for the transfer of the shares do not satisfy the SSNIT objectives. The transfer of the management and ownership will take 2 years. The 2-year installment plan was not made available to all bidders. Until you can say insider dealing. All the other bidders, companies, maybe young country or me say, maybe to make at Tiano on installment basis over 2 years. You can say, me company cash. Na me baby. Ebani saying that the champion quantity, more money installment plan, more money 2 years. That is not all. Transaction advisor may say the latest proposal does not meet the objectives of SSNIT, which were clearly stated in the terms of reference for the transaction. Or say, the proposal does not indicate the source of funding for the balance of the acquisition price. Other investors who submitted this did not have an option of spreading the payment of shares over a 2-year period. Rock City Hotel's latest proposal does not include a bank guarantee. Damn it! You can't report via a year guarantee. I see. The current proposal does not reflect a bank guarantee and a firm indication of the ability of Rock City Hotel to settle the transaction in full. Below is an analysis of the semi-annual payment that will be required of Rock City at different rates of interest. Now, your analysis. And they continue. Assuming that SSNIT accepts a 2-year plan with semi-annual payments and an interest rate of 2.5%, the periodic payment that will be required of Rock City Hotel will be $7.8 million. That's $109.7 million. Rock City Hotel's financials cannot support the transaction. The table below shows that Rock City Hotel's total projected annual revenue of 2024 cannot meet the half-year installment payment of 109.7 million Ghana cedis. In addition, the company does not have cash reserves to support the installment payments. In short, the current proposal does not meet the requirement to demonstrate the financial capacity to close the transaction. Same capital. Can you believe that?
So that's a document on your screen. More and more share your TV.
But transaction advisor, Yatiano Sika Kesio, Vasani million. And this is 24th May. more than a month. And send a board chair. Or was the crack that a piece. 26 June. Okay, say, or no dear. Yakofre so above from heaven, a background. She knows that they will declare the transaction clean. Now, she had received this report. Last week, press conference now, Kofi Bosompin was having to address it. He was aware of this transaction advisory report. And yet was saying, sir, the beer and the beer you come out, the beer you clean, and that they are going ahead. Look at this damning report. Very damning. Meanwhile, SSNIT one kasa me wɔ advert a wɔde to dwa 7 February 2022 wɔn LST pre-qualification criteria wɔn ka sɛ obi a woba bɛdede no make sure you have sources and proof of funding ansa na yɛbɛ consider wo bi transaction advisor no ka sɛ Rock City you didn't have source of funding you didn't have a bank guarantee. Into Rock City bid should not even have qualified. In addition, SSNIT for pre-qualification criteria almost say valid SSNIT and GRA clearance certificate. Mubekaya, we intercepted documents from GRA, we will copy what. These filings at GRA, every delay said, at the time Rock City put in their bid, they couldn't have had a valid tax clearance certificate because bid no was happening in first quarter of 2022. You should bring your filings. Almost 2021, there were GRA documents. Okay. 2021, and yet 2 years after, 9th March 2023, and now Omoko filing on the taxes for 2021. When they were putting in the bid 2022, they couldn't have had a valid tax clearance certificate. Because
the reason why our respondent said we need proof.
That we need proof now. Me intercepted the now obeto. I mean obeto me transact dying. As if me are homeless. I need his house, so that I can move from the streets. These are the documents. So me say my intercepted the I have it. Tax clearance then or the year pay. And that is a prerequisite. No matter. Say pre-qualification criteria.
Because it's not on the requirement.
Pre-qualification criteria. Say we need be a disqualified. Into deal with whichever aspect you look at it, any time. A bon kind. Whichever way you look at it. And these are the issues. Internal organized labor will be anybody who has seen these documents. Say, what is going on here? Dear person, you work and pay. You chair hotel. You chair hotel. You decided say you demand your colleague in government. You the channel. Just say that now you're in a TRC. Because that's what is happening.
That's our investment.
Yes, that's our investment.
Although SSNIT contributed, that's your money. It's your investment. So you should have interest.
When you look at the issues, you're very clear, sir. These are fundamental issues. There were constitutional violations. There were violations of your Income Tax Act. Violations of your procurement laws. And then, if you look at even the valuation report, if you look at the transaction advisory report, it's all a disaster. It's a total mess. The whole arrangement, about the year work and pay arrangement. Sikana Labadi Beach Hotel for a one. And then Anka or over the 2 year period now because Labadi Beach for more profits or financial statements our last year as for the month ending 31st December 2023 Labadi Beach Hotel into press conference now Mr. Bosompin I can say hotels they are just making losses and you're not correct. Labadi Beach Hotel last year, gross profit 158.4 million. Profits after tax, operating profits, and you're 58.2 million for 2023. The year before 2022, and you're 55 million. according to Deloitte for Elomo, according to women in America. Labadi Beach Hotel. Last year, Omutia dividend 25 million. The year before, Omutia dividend 10 million. It is again no question. Hotels meaning a basket case. And then
10 million Ghana cedis.
10 million 2022, 2023, Omutia 25 million cities. 75 million cities.
Yeah.
And the taxes are not over the last 4 years. And you're 40.5 million. This is a cash cow. The whole thing was just going to be a work and pay arrangement. Labadi for Sikano and Rock City for a debate to your installment plan. Clearly, that's what was going to go on. And you see, Labadi for more history. That should have been the model, sir. La Palm, Royal Ridge, Elmina, as I say, no, or they are not making profit. Labadi, about 15 years ago, they were also struggling.
Sure.
And the MS Thompson-led leadership, or more inviting hotel management company, they are for more legacy from South Africa. And a legacy for into a month hotel number, just Musani management contract. So Muna meaning so that you're managing hotels. Into moving managing namun in the process, no knowledge transfer. Munche Ghana for no send your manager after no not more handover. Into after 10 years or more transforming Labadi and a more Ghana for. Ghana for have been in charge for about 7-8 years. And they are still making profit, even better profit than when the South Africans were.
Then we could have tapped into Labadi.
Exactly, into the Labadi model. No? And you see, Ernest Thompson had an agreement with the Ernest Thompson-led management, had a similar agreement with La Palm. Aban will buy and no cancel that agreement. And no more appointed political apparatchiks to manage these hotels without looking at more competence or more expertise in hotel management. Into the issue is about management. And you say, Yanton, so if look at these two hotels, Labadi, La Palm, same stretch, same road, beachfront. It's just a 2-minute walk. Then decide your say, I don't think Labadi for they are doing well, doing so well. And La Palm just next door, struggling. Meanwhile, La Palm, there were more rooms, there were bigger conferencing facilities. It's a how come? It should tell you say it's a management issue. It's not about selling it. If you just appoint the right manager, and the fortunes will be turned around. But if you have these political apparatchiks, one of them acted for 6 months, I say $18,000. I put out those numbers. How can the place make profit? If you don't sell it, it's just appoint the right people, change management. Over all these years, Ghana workers, and then you come to this conclusion, say, why? It simply doesn't make sense. Muammar Labadi story. Just adapt, replicate the Labadi story for La Palm, for Ridge Royal, for Elmina, for Vizia, for Trust Lodge. And we are home and dry. Look, whichever way you look at this, it's just the state capture. Hotels, as I said, the Ghanaian people don't deserve it. We must have it. That's what this is about. Because there can be no, idea a year profit. I don't think maybe Labadi account. Because some more argument they say, oh, your town hotels are a year losses.
Yeah.
That's your argument. Then why add Labadi? If you wanted us to believe in your principle, to see that you have credibility, say there are no Anka and so say Labadi account. But they are more separated. Namun dealing with only those making losses. Now you will say, oh, okay. The airport can the more kind of crack. That it doesn't make sense. What together with their boom, and then you are treating all of them the same way, and there's no value for money. See, offer no crana way below valuation. Transaction advisor, I advise him on May 24. Say, I deal with yeah, very damning. And you mean America, Dr. Sam Mensa, the transaction advisor. Yet you have $491,000. Ain't it? Women say, more see Muchimupo, and yes, and the Mobile and Mobile. I didn't think a mobile time, Yesika. And the question said, more continue transaction advisor. So, on better move. You have women say, the Mobile and Mobile. Obia to move for a moontie. Why waste our money? Why? Ghana and a private company, will you do this? That is the question which was. Will you do that?
Honorable, conversation here, young year, I think crowd the answer when I say days coming, no, you're better also. But way would be a car. And then way up by your count once the election year. Yamia Domna former President John Dramani Mahama, the president. You still be in parliament or be part of the government. Ya tete ya tumata forest the end and na no na nya clear. Mo penso ya kwatese bia aban mu nipa bi to aban japade. Na bu mi ano no aka ya.
Look, I can assure you, sir. And yes, sir, me kasakete. Aban me kune. Me resign. I won't be part of it. Say, yeah, aban mo say in some way I hear condemning. Yes, yeah, but yeah, the same thing. I won't be part of such a government. I won't be part of the government. I will just sit in parliament. Said as a member of parliament. I don't have to be a minister and an deputy. And there are so many other things I can do. There are so many people who are not in government. You even live better than I do. I will not be part of such a government. In general, I am the pastor at former President Mahama, the press conference, clearly or pledge before in Central Force all mark coin for any member of his government to buy a state asset. And honestly, a cow, a assassin, bungalow, forest, you are not allowed. I was so happy when I heard that.
Okay.
So happy. On was promising.
All right.
And I'm hoping, sir, answer that law, the protection of public assets bill, you're better passing.
Okay.
So that it will not even arise. But I can give you a full assurance.
Okay.
So I won't be part of such a cabal. Okay. So yes, you hear that yes state capture. Because you just have to be playing all these videos. I'll be so embarrassed. I'll commit suicide. Yeah, because I can't stand it.
Okay.
I can't stand it.
Okay. Me patrol near the better tour and say honorable plan bender that was state capture coffee say bungalows and the cacao. Me patrol then what is the strategy? What's the way forward?
Any kind of. I am clear in my mind.
Yes, I can't back.
Yeah, I'm clear in my mind, sir. Who engage in this state capture? That's a Yachiwa. There has to be sanctions. SSNIT board, they have to go home. That board must be dissolved. Because they are also, look at the presidential advisor's report. You have this advice, May 24. Now, weeks after, you are holding press conference, writing statements, saying that the course will come out. They all must go home. The Elizabeth Ohili-led board and the Osafumapu management. Look, public officials must suffer sanctions. Look, when you engage in conduct of this nature, there has to be consequences. And yes, Anna, Obia will feel encouraged. Yeah. State capture no causes are so intimacy may share forest or may so meant to me at all. There will be no consequence. Yache me kwana no punishment. So if I'm in charge of bungalows, not to me at all. If I'm in charge of embassies, I can demolish and buy.
Nyankopon Shao, enti Nyankopon Shao, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa. Idebia Mikasa or a parliament anas. In fact, Uran will show a lot of love to this country. And this is a presidential material. This is called honorable. And yet, and go for minimum parliament. honorable yenka ne senkra title no edo so keke. This is honorable, this is honest person. Osiden Ghana first, just like Honorable Kennedy Akomprekwa Japan. Enti Okudzeto Ablakwa Nyankopon Shira, we know say one day ono nso betimi edi oman we anim. So if he continues with this kind of attitude, any behavior or expose anima, na ma onye na adwen say NDC for bo bemu na no. Enti wotie say okaye say ono de say NDC for bakra na say John Dramani Mahama o engage ne ho in such attitude and I say in corruption. The ono ka setie CCI say Yewura John Dramani Mahama ba na ono nso ebeye bia, he is going to resign and he's going to turn against NDC. And we know so run beye because waka ewo national television so wamaye na aya aware say he is going to resign if NDC so ba na omo engage omo ho in galamsey, omo koye omo ho a confirm ye say any sa nema no. If they continue to do what cause this country financial loss there, also obey them obey yini ho free amanyuko ni, even government ni. Enti this is on record. Today being 15th of July 2024, ye dia to hono Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa. It drew honum na wankasa. Social media doesn't forget. We are coming back to you. Na ya eden. You know what be di ho nkobo. Now we know say odi beye adwuma because you won't be paying President Akufo-Addo ekan Mahama administration, incompetent Mahama administration, Baumia. Eno mudi omu key points. If the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. They said it countless times in their public lectures, in their public seminars, and in their keka home. Even in Legon, Omoko Honon, University of Ghana, a kind of countless occasions, and a lot of people they fell for them because they thought say they are having the most youthful and the most vibrant policies ebeboa. Abusia, omoba ye die na ye hu. It is vice versa. The hwehwe enti ena omo na ho na omo san ka se bold solution ena omo mbedi Ghana for atem ena omo mudi ye historians no so anase ye legends ana omo atimi akon kodin ama oman we abeduru omo abeye oman we ye we osage for Dr. Kwame Nkrumah omo mudi omo nanim betwitwi form so omo di nanim twitwi form. Enti such people no they want to rule Ghana again. Person collapse your mind with the mind. In the Bia Maker, it is obvious and it is high time say we see you say Baumia MPP Napo say Yamshe Nanko way if they retain in government and no break the 8 way, it is going to be a disastrous. It is going to be a disaster. Mami for winsi enti sanity. All that you need to know about the SSNIT hotel sales to Brian Champon, the company, and as in hotel Rock City. No, I think say Yewura Samuel Okudzeto amount the overview. Wama wahu dia wose wuhu. Wama wati dia wose oti. Enti yemfa basubo emfama Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa. Say with me, I yes a good job on it. He said there. Bevosi etro enkwatwe baby otwire. Abanda baby odanma okraman enko baby oko. Se omoton someone din Brian Champon and in the Rock City say there. Omare draw omuntobio. This is the good job of Honorable Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa. This is the doings of him. Nyankopon enhyira wura yi sɛ wayɛ ade na wama Ghana yɛnsansi fam. Yɛwɔ members of parliament, about 275 members of parliament omugu hɔnom. Deɛ yɛ awerɛhɔ ne sɛ they don't defend this country. They defend their own selfish interest. Sika ombenya die, adan ombɛtotɔ, cars ombɛtotɔ, ɛne nneɛma ombenya na waban mu ɛna ɔmoyɛ. Yɛnya nkase man yo, but hwɛ hu sɛ ni nkɔfo a ɔmode wo kɔ hɔ, constituency a ɔmode wo kɔsi hɔnom sɛ yɛ adwuma no, you are going to make sure say wobɛboa ɔmo, and whatever that you do, it will meet their satisfaction, and they will be what? They will be okay with it. Yɛka sɛ yɛka nsɛm no dɔɔso, ma memfa wo nsi. Yɛbɛsrɛ wo sɛ wobɛsubscribe na walike dwumadi na wahyɛ na afoforo ɛnyɛ bi ahwɛ. Nyankopɔn ɛnhyira wo. Me maame kyee baafoɔ ɛhwɛ me firi New York, America, aburokyiman mu. Nyankopɔn nhyira me maame royal bi ɛhwɛ me firi UK. Nyankopɔn nhyira wo. Yɛnya no nti Germany for any other European countries, Sevilla, Spain, any a lot of European countries na ya mo hwɛ yɛ. Nyankopɔn nhyira bibia wae. Nyankopɔn nhyira mo sɛ de bia mo hwɛ yɛ. Me papa baako wɔ America, ɔno nso na naji, ɔno nso ya hwɛ yɛ pa. Nyankopɔn nhyira mo nyinaa sɛ de bia mo nso mutimi ɛhwɛ yɛ. Ɛna wokɔ Italy nso a ate sɛ supporters ne bi nso hɔ mo mfa mega TV ndi agorɔ. Nyankopɔn nhyira bibia. Ma memfa wo nsi. The here me say odo comment betum, that is the most important thing. Now like dwumadi no nso na afoforo wa share mo nso nyi bia hwe. Now don't forget to subscribe. Say be the latest news about politics, purely politics in Ghana. Ebemo wo de ekoso nti misraw. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to share as well. Bye bye, Macro.